number 5 Colorado, and number 6 Stanford. USC is 10th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not doing serious. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
First things first.
Check 1, 2. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First. My first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors, the elders. And let's go. We got a lot to talk about. Here's what we do around here. The first hour, we usually focus on the left coast, all things west, especially your neighborhood, your community. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person or on a hot topic of interest. Well, we typically have a partner in politics somewhere in there. Today, I'll be joined by Joseph Williams of LA Students Deserves and Black Lives Matter Grassroots in hour 2. Right now, it's me, you, and this microphone to look at the local 800-920-1580. That's the number. You got something to say, and there's a lot going on. And then, of course, in the third hour, we're going to be talking about the NAACP Los Angeles has a new set of guidelines about how to portray Black people on screen. So Kyle Bowser will join us. Attorney Kyle Bowser will join us to break that down. And how do you even enforce something like that? And what does it really mean? Can you legislate the end of anti-Blackness? Can you govern or rule make your way to better portrayals? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure interested to see what the NAACP has up their sleeve. So that's what we're doing. Hopefully you're already on our social media. If you're not, though, we're at KBLA 1580 on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you know, all the places. And I am DePrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. Love to talk with you even when we're on the air. We're streaming right now on YouTube, youtube.com, KBLA 1580. You can get in the chat and join the conversation. Fun and inspiring things, a little something for what's been a really rough couple months. We're going back to Africa in June of 2024, next summer, and you can come with. I'm excited because we are going to a place I've been and a place I've never been. The place that I've been is Tanzania, and I love, love, love Tanzania. Cannot tell you how wonderful it is. Now I understand why Geronimo Gijaga Pratt, when he finally was released from prison, took the compensation that the U.S. government gave because they wrongfully imprisoned him for 27 years. He was like our Black Panther Party version of Nelson Mandela, 27 years wrongfully jailed for fighting for black liberation in this country. Anyway, he took his money and went to Tanzania and lived out the rest of his life. Sadly, it was shorter than we wish, but much of his 27 years was spent in solitary confinement, so it's not surprising. In any case, I know he had a joyous last leg of his life because Tanzania is really something special. The beauty and splendor of nature, the big city, Dar es Salaam. So you got both. You've got these incredible national parks, and then you've got an international big city on the east coast of Africa. So you have Europe, the Arab world, and the African continent all sort of gathering there. There's casinos and clubs and restaurants. And then you have the island of Zanzibar, the Spice Island, just amazing. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting caught up in that. I can't wait to go back. But we're also going somewhere I've never been, which is Kenya. We'll be going to Kenya, which has now become one of those African nations which actually offers citizenship to Black Americans. There are several of them. Ghana's one. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. But Kenya's one of the more recent ones that they will offer you citizenship. And you could have dual citizenship. You could keep your U.S. passport and add an African passport. Might come in handy in case, Mein Trump gets back in office, because certainly he's acting like a dictator right now. If you thought it was bad before, I think the return of the Donald would be, I believe we will prevent it, but who knows? I believe it will be next level bad, next level authoritarian is what I'm really saying. Anyway, nice to have a place to go. But back to Africa. Kenya is one of those spots. Never been there. I know it has natural beauty and big cities as well. And we are going in June. So if you want to find out more about the trip, you can go to africanfocus.org. We're doing a Zoom meeting on Saturday. We could find out the details, how you can be down, how much it costs, some of what we'll be doing. All of that is happening this Saturday. Go to africanfocus.org. Of course, this is KBLA teaming up with the organization African Focus Incorporated. We call ourselves the African Focus Trailblazer Tours because we are blazing a tour trail for others to come, especially other Black people, to come to the continent, to do business there, to visit, to live, whatever it is you choose. And so we will be having our Zoom meeting Saturday. You can get all the details. And as we did last year, KBLA will be broadcasting on the trip. So we will bring Africa to you if you cannot come. And this is the East Coast, east side of Africa. If you cannot come, we will bring us with you virtually. I always post pictures on all of our socials, and we broadcast live wherever we go. I do my best to step up that theater of the mind, which is what radio is meant to be. I do my best to step up that energy so that you can come with, even if you can't come with. But if you can, hey, it's going to be amazing. I know it's going to sell out really quickly, too, because it did last year. Surprisingly, I thought that, people would be, recovering still from the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. No, we sold out quick. In fact, last year we sold out by December. So if you're thinking about going, you might want to get on this. And I'll see you Saturday. I'll be on that Zoom. Looking forward to that. So lot of things. They're saying now that the 10 freeway fire was caused by arson. Governor Newsom said he found not he, but the firefighters found the point of ignition. where the fire started. That's where they can get evidence, and they believe it was started on purpose. And that investigation will continue. It's really tricky because, like I said yesterday, there's toxic materials down there. They don't know how stable or unstable the freeway is. But I believe that between the world stage spotlight on our governor and the amazing, hardworking, get things done mayor that we have in the city, we'll get it back up and running as soon as possible. But we don't know how soon that is because we still don't know the extent of the damage. It is a nightmare. But here's the thing. The 10 freeways closed, obviously. If you haven't heard that, you must be coming back from vacation in the Himalayas or something. But we don't know how long it's going to be closed. But they still want you to stay on the freeway, not on the streets, because the streets will become just a complete parking lot. If we all take the streets, 300,000 of us every day, it's going to be all bad. That means you're going to have to leave more time. They say an extra 15, 20, 30 minutes. I say leave an extra hour. I was on that freeway Sunday, not paying attention, like, why is traffic so bad? Oh, I'm still here. And I think, the mayor told us yesterday on this show that those traffic apps are updated now. But when I was there, they kept telling me to get on the 10. And I was like, no, I don't want to get on the 10. But it's bad, and it's going to be bad for a while. And I hope that all of the folks that are running businesses will find it in their hearts and in their strategic plans to, let us work from home. Okay, I'm not talking about Tavis. I actually don't live, I live in South LA, so it's not, I don't have to take a long commute. But if you do, and there is some good news. They say that the preliminary reports are saying that the damage is not as terrible as we initially thought. That fire broke out. It was very intense because there's things like a lot of stored hand sanitizer, right, which is alcohol. That's fueling the fire, and all these wood pallets. So it was raging, and it covered quite a bit of area, and it took a lot of firefighters to put it out. Luckily, no one was injured. No one was killed. Those unhoused people, they said 16 folks that were right in that area were placed in housing. So that's all good news. And now they're saying the damage is not as bad as we thought. So maybe that means we'll get it up and running. I'll have more for you on that. We've got rainstorms coming down our neck this week. Update you on that. And what is inside the SAG after contract, and why is it causing some people to be really mad? Some folks rebelling against that contract. Take a look at that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now there are medicines that can treat COVID, whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ask any former youth in foster care what they missed most while growing up, and they will most likely answer, someone to show me unconditional love. Now, isn't that something we all wished we could experience? Here in Los Angeles, up to 40% of homeless youth on our streets identify as LGBTQ+. The most prevalent reason for homelessness among this population is the rejection they've experienced from their own families. The LA County Department of Children and Family Services and Raise a Child are searching for safe, nurturing, and affirming foster parents within our community willing to stand up and serve all children and youth in foster care, especially LGBTQ youth. Learn the many benefits to becoming a foster parent. Attend a free Raise a Child virtual or in-person informational event to learn more. RSVP now at raiseachild.org. That's raiseachild.org. And thank you.
You are now in Big Tobacco's Fantasyland. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
So we're still waiting for updates from transportation officials, and then I know the mayor and the governor will be having a press conference or press availability a little later today, and we'll get more updates on what the scenario, what the outlook is for the 10 freeway. Maybe I think it's probably too early to say whether we'll have a real timeline. But the LA Times is reporting that Caltrans engineers said it looks like we're headed toward the best case scenario. So the worst case would be they got to remove all of the pillars in one direction first in stages and then the other direction, so they can keep some parts of the road open while replacing lanes. But in the best case scenario, those what they call shoring, those stabilizing factors for the freeway would be able to stay in place and they wouldn't have to shut down lanes. So we'll see. They say they think it will be best case scenario. That would be less impact, but we have to see. In 2017, something like this happened in Atlanta. I remember that story. And they were closed for about 6 weeks to try. They weren't fully opened for 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a long time, but I think we're bracing for more than that. It could be months. We'll see. I don't think we could have a better team. I think Governor Gavin Newsom is great at stuff like this, that fix it, go get it, let's do it. And he is, as I said, the world spotlight's been on him. I think that Mayor Karen Bass is a get things done. She's not that flashy person that's always trying to get credit for everything, but she just tends to quietly get a lot of stuff done. And that's one of the reasons why I've watched her and admire her over the years. And one of the reasons why we couldn't have a better mayor to deal with is apparently close to 100 of those columns have already been impacted by the fire. And that's a lot. So we'll keep you posted. I mean, for sure, we'll keep you posted on that. So, I don't know, big talk radio moment for those who listen to right-wing conservative talk radio, and even some of my progressive friends or liberal friends or independent friends do. They listen to John and Ken. Well, Ken is retiring, Ken Shimpo. It's a big deal. They've been on the air for decades. They're kind of conservative staples in LA. But John is going to keep doing the show himself, John Cobo. I remember, John came on my show one time when I first started doing talk radio. And we went at it. Maybe I'll find that. I'll try to find that. It's I think it's on DAT or cassette or something. Anyway, we were sparring because I don't agree with any of his viewpoints. I mean, I can't ever recall a time I agreed with anything he said. But he came on my show when I did Street Science. I had John, Larry Elder, and Tom Likas. They did not know what they were getting themselves into because I was new in town. But anyway, I was thinking, Ken is retiring. John's going to do the show by himself, so maybe he needs a new co-host. Not me. I was thinking more like, I don't know, John and Tavis. Tavis does better with conservatives than I do. I don't know, John and Avi. That doesn't sound right. That would be a new twist, a black co-host. But it's a moment. It's a big moment in radio history. In any case, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So, why is Justine Bateman and some of the actors, why are they angry about the SAG-AFTRA deal? 118 days on strike. We got some big raises and some great advancements. The union just put out a summary of the agreement because those of us who are members of that union, we get to start voting on it. And yet some folks are not happy with it. We were on strike for 118 days. 86% of the National Guild approved the deal, which is, an overwhelming approval, but it's not like what we're seeing in other unions. And it's not like our strike authorization for SAG-AFTRA was 96% voted to walk. 86% of the National Board voted to approve the deal. The actors still have to vote. And the chief negotiator, his name is Duncan Crabtree Ireland, said, yeah, there's some things we didn't get, but we made a lot of progress. Justine Bateman and others, she's the actor from Family Matters, but she's also a filmmaker, director, writer, and influencer. She's among a group of folks that are angry because she feels we did not get enough protection against artificial intelligence. She claims that the contract still allows the studios to use fake people, for lack of a better word, artificial persons. And that opens the door for studios to cut a lot of jobs. This is what she's saying. Fran Drescher, who is the president of SAG-AFTRA, disagrees vehemently. She's put out statements she's done a Zoom call, and there are actually a series of Zoom calls for the actors to get briefed on this. And she says it's just misinformation. I think that, Crabtree, Ireland kind of admitted that it's not perfect and that we're hoping we'll get better protections against AI in the future. I think it's important because we have gotten something, right? And this is and this is what the writers started. They started it because they got some protections from AI. They didn't get full protections either, because their deal, the writers' deal, and I hope to be able to join that union one day, the writers' deal says that if a studio already owns your script, they can use that script to create something similar. They can use that script to train AI, which basically means they can bite, as we used to say. They can steal your writing style if they already own one of your scripts. So to me, that was the big hole in the writer's contract. But it was a start. It was the first start. These are 3-year deals. Oh, well, I'm not sure the writer's one. I'm not sure if it's 3 years. The actor's deal is 3 years. So that means 3 years from now, and probably 2 years from now, they'll start negotiating. It means the studios have been put on notice that they can't just do whatever they want with AI. And there are some AI protections. Bateman says they don't go far enough. I'd love to hear your thoughts, though. I mean, because to me, if the studios are arguing, well, we have to compete with people who can use AI and it's not fair. So your argument is then that since other people are moving quickly to wipe out actors, we should be able to too. But if this turns out to be true, what Bateman is saying, it's not just actors that will lose jobs. It's also below the line people. Because if they use AI to generate people, then you don't need lighting persons, you don't need gaffers, you don't need craft services. I'm pretty sure AI doesn't eat snacks, and so on. So that means a lot of jobs lost if what Bateman is saying is true. Crabtree, Ireland says he spoke with her for hours about this and that he felt comfortable we were in the right place. I mean, look, I can see why folks ratified it. 7% increase effective immediately for all performers, another 4% by July and in 2024, and a 3.5% bump in July of 2025. Those are big increases. Bigger for background actors, what we call extras, 11% effective immediately, a 4% raise in the second year, and then a 3.5 in year 3. But the questions about AI, they don't just pertain to the actors. They pertain to every area of human life. And so I think Bateman's questions are worth a look. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday, November 14th. I'm Mike Moore. Now, here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Army is formally apologizing for the treatment of a group of black soldiers who were convicted of mutiny for their roles in the Houston riots of 1917. Under Secretary of the Army Gabe Camarillo, he said military paperwork will now be changed showing an honorable discharge. 19 black Army soldiers were executed. Most others received life sentences after they fought with police and white residents of a heavily segregated Houston. Today, the nearly 160,000 members of SAG-AFTRA will begin voting on the terms of a tentative new 3-year contract. The tentative deal, reached last Wednesday, ended the actors' 118-day strike against the major Hollywood studios and streaming companies. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Staples Holiday Deals mean amazing savings for the holiday season. Right now, save 50% on custom holiday cards and invitations, as well as custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. Offer ends 12/16. Visit staples.com/print for more details. Have yourself a merry little holiday deal at Staples.
Is this the devil? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers and Clippers are back in action tonight. The Lakers are at home against Memphis. LeBron is questionable with a calf contusion in his left leg. He will likely be a game-time decision. The Clippers are in a tough place to try to snap their 5-game losing streak. They're in Denver to take on the defending champion Nuggets. The Clippers are 0-4 with James Harden. USC's women's basketball team has a bona fide superstar on their roster. Freshman guard Juju Watkins had a game-high 35 points Monday night in the Trojans' easy win over Lemoyne. Watkins has scored 83 points in her first 3 games. USC is one of 5 Pac-12 schools ranked in the top 10 of this week's AP Women's College Basketball Poll. UCLA is 3rd, followed by number 4 Utah, number 5 Colorado, and number 6 Stanford. USC is 10th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You are now in Big Tobacco's fantasy land. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's fantasy land, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
Beloved Entertainment presents Sweet Spot Live with me, Angelique Francis, at the beautiful Miracle Theater at 226 South Market Street in Inglewood on Sunday, November 19th at 6 p.m. Join me with KBLA for short stories told live on stage with us, by us. Yes, our own storytellers straight from the neighborhood. Colorful and provocative live storytelling event celebrating our unique culture, our strength, our courage, our faith, and yes, our fire. We invite you to walk with us through the neighborhood, even run with us down our dark alleys if you dare. Just around the corner, there is laughter, unspeakable pain, secrets never told. But don't worry. The door is unlocked and we're going to leave the porch light on. That's Sunday, November 19th at the Miracle Theater, 226 Market Street in Inglewood, 6 p.m. Yes, it is all happening right here in the Sweet Spot. Tickets available, sweetspotlive.eventbrite.com, sweetspotlive.eventbrite.com. We got a lot to talk about.
Thinking about hosting a podcast and don't know where to start? Morris Media Studios has you covered. We're a professional podcast and voiceover studio located in Leimert Park. We specialize in recording and live streaming audio and video podcasts. Let us help you set up, record, and distribute your podcast. Hosting a podcast is a great way to bring awareness to your business, product, or good cause. For more info, visit morrismediastudios.com or give us a call at 323-815-4204.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for waking up with me and Miles and all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. It is feeling like the holidays because it's chilly when I come to work in the mornings. And but hot during the day. Well, it's about to rain. I think they said probably starting tomorrow, and it's supposed to be the decent sized storm, not like what we saw this spring, but it's kicking off our version of winter. We really have, I think, 2 seasons: winter and not winter. Well, maybe 3. I don't know. Maybe there's 3 because the real summer is like September, October in LA. So, and spring is from like April until August. In any case, it's supposed to be raining tomorrow, a couple inches, and it'll be chilly for a few days. And more rain than maybe we're used to in November. However, not like what we saw, those monsoons we saw earlier this year that were giving, global warming, El Nino, whatever it was. I'm not a meteorologist, but I know when to stay inside and binge watch. And that'll be the next few days, I believe. So the actors start voting today. I believe this contract will pass because there are a lot of wins here. But again, I think the conversation about AI and what it's going to mean for not just actors, but whatever your job is. I mean, look, if you suddenly start seeing a robot on YouTube instead of me, but it sounds just like my voice, you'll know AI has taken over my job. The funny thing is because they have those, what they call hallucinations, which is where the AI does not know the answer to the question at hand. It just makes stuff up. Something I am tempted to do, but I don't believe in that. I believe in fact-based, evidence-based. So that could be a problem when, AI Dominique starts spewing crazy stuff that isn't true instead of crazy stuff that is true. You'll know it's not me. But what Justine Bateman is saying is that the studios do, and this is true, there's protections there. They do have the right to create an image, a synthetic human based on you. And she has an apocalyptic view. She says that executives are choosing to no longer be in the film and series business, that they think of themselves as being tech barons or something. I'm quoting her there. And she was looking, she's predicting a world where you'll be able to go to Netflix and just order a story, and instantly AI will make a movie, a film, a video based on your viewing history to suit your taste that no one else will see, like a custom movie or custom TV show that will be disposable. It'll be custom made for you, and it'll be made with no humans, no actors, no directors, writers. It'll just be AI. They'll make something just like, Insecure for me, or just like Succession for me, only no actors, directors, writers, and it'll just be disposable, and there'll be no humans involved. I could see that, but I mean, we're now at a point where they're doing so much niche programming where they're trying to reach, constantly bring in new subscribers. Which is one of the reasons why you see more ethnic content, right? Indian matchmakers or whatever. They want to get a bunch of new subscribers from communities that they've ignored so they can keep the infinite growth model going, even though that's not realistic, to quote one studio executive. But Bateman's point is we should not have AI in the creative space at all in film. I don't know that that's realistic. She's also saying that soon you'll be able to scan your own face and then AI will make a movie starring you, and you can sit at home and Netflix and watch yourself. And I can see all of that happening, but she said that there's always going to be people that want to see real writing, real humans. And I think that's the truth. I would think it was cool to watch me in a movie once or twice, but I don't want to see me in everything. Unless it was really me in everything. Unless I was, the new Samuel L. Jackson, who's actually really in everything and on sets making movies. But just scan my face and, superimpose it over Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. No, thank you. No, thank you. I believe that won't happen, but I could be wrong. She says, I'm going to be making human things for human audiences with human crews and casts and so forth, and we'll see what happens. And I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the warning, but I also don't think it's fair to dismiss the work of the negotiating committee and just say, this sucks, so I'm going to blast it, rather than saying, well, we've set some boundaries here. For example, if studios use AI to complete a film, to add scenes or whatever, and they copy you or me, now they have to pay you for the days you would have worked to make those scenes. Now, that's actually still going to take some work days away from the full crew because there won't be a set. But this is the actor's contract, and maybe, when the Yahtzee's contract comes up, the below the line, folks will see more pushback on stuff like that. But that's a significant protection that we didn't have before. Plus, the performers, the actors, will get residuals for the screen time of the replica. So if you make a replica Miles or a replica Dominique, and she does an episode that she wasn't in as the real human Dominique, I still have to get my residuals for that. That's a significant victory. It means we're not just going to let them copy us and then we don't get paid for it at all. And they also have to get consent from the performer. And they have to tell that actor how that replica is going to be used in what they call reasonably specific terms, meaning, give us a pretty clear idea of what my AI alter ego will be doing in that scene. Exactly. Now, that consent carries over after the performer is done, which I don't love, but so does the residual. So if your heirs get your residuals for AI you doing a movie, they'll still continue to get that money after you go. So those are big deals, okay? They also have to get consent from actors before digitally altering our performances. Other than outside of standard post-production, cleanup type stuff. Or dubbing. Dubs are going to get better, I'll tell you that. The lips are going to be matching the words because they can fix it with AI. Yes, it's a slippery slope. There's a lot of things we don't know. Actors and writers are really leading the charge for an area that is going to be a point of contention in every single field. And, it's not going to be perfect. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in on this. There are other... Okay, I love when folks text me when I'm on the air. I'm busy from 6 to 9. I ain't going to text you back. But there's other big wins, like streaming bonuses. Yes, we didn't get the percentage of the streaming, which maybe next contract, but there is a streaming bonus paid to actors who 20% of the streaming platforms U.S. subscribers watch within the first 90 days. That means that streaming companies are going to have to share their data, which is something they have not wanted to do with Screen Actors Guild. There are new protections for self-tape auditions. You don't have to memorize long scripts, or any scripts, actually. You don't have to have expensive, fancy production studio equipment to make yourself an audition tape, and they cannot require you to do stunts. I'm trying to imagine doing a stunt on a self-tape, but apparently people were doing it, and you don't have to appear nude. Those are now things that are against the rules for self-taping. So they can limit the length of the audition materials now, and there are limits on how they can store those tapes. So lots and lots of wins here. I didn't even know producers were doing this, but apparently they were charging some performers to participate in general casting calls, a fee. That sounds shady, but now it's against our contract. So one protection that actors were hoping for that didn't happen: you will not be paid for self-tape auditions, but at least they can't have you do half the script and memorize it, and there are some protections that weren't there before. So big decision this week for actors. There are some interesting provisions regarding equity and inclusion. Goes to what we're talking about in the final hour of the show. Can you legislate or make rules to decrease or end anti-blackness? Well, SAG contract is trying. I'll tell you what I mean when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
The City of Los Angeles Civil Rights Department and its LA Repair Participatory Budgeting Program invite nonprofit organizations to submit proposals to turn community ideas into reality. More than $5.4 million is available to make a difference in the Arleta, Pacoima, Westlake, Skid Row, South LA, Leimert Park, and Harbor areas. Don't wait. Proposals are due on November 29th at noon. To apply, visit repair.lacity.gov. LA Repair gives people real power over real money. Visit repair.lacity.gov.
When breaking news happens, keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580.
So pleased to announce that the 43rd mayor of the city of Los Angeles is on the phone. Mayor Karen Bass, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Dominique?
Good. You must be incredibly swamped right now, and I appreciate you checking in. It's indefinitely what we're hearing, that the 10 freeway to be down?
Yes, that is the case. All of those travel apps, pay attention to those. As we get information, they've been uploaded right away. So those maps should be accurate. But we actually are trying to tell people to stay on freeways, to follow the route, because our streets can't handle 300,000. Yeah. Our streets would be parking lots. There is metro, there is public transportation. So they're increasing the frequency of trains and increasing the frequency of buses. So you can go to 511 and learn about metro. You can go to emergency.lacity.gov to learn about any information on the city. This is a time for all of us to stay together. We're trying every avenue possible. That's why it's so important that you reached out, Dominique. Always want to make sure that the KBLA audience is up to speed.
Mayor Karen Bass, thank you so much. Godspeed.
All right, thank you.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
Remember before the coronavirus changed everything, there was I think it was 2019, there was a movement of black women actors calling for black women or black men or, really African-American, culturally competent hairstylists. It was a thing. It was on Twitter. Of course, Gabrielle Union and others speaking out saying, hey, we want stylists that know how to do our hair. Is that too much to ask? And you may think it's trifling. I don't think it's trifling. I think it's great because it would have, and in some cases it did, create opportunities for black stylists. Those unions are very hard to get into. Generally, they're family businesses. You could call it nepotism. You could call it tradition, whatever. It's not easy to get in if you don't know someone who's already in, which means there's not a lot of black folks. Makeup and hair. And that's why you can see a great show like Scandal. I love that show, even though, I know, it was a little soapy, but I love that show. But Kerry Washington's hair always looked terrible. I was like, this is a network show with a super big, beautiful movie star in the lead, and her hair looks like crap. Because obviously they had someone that did not know how to do black women's hair doing that show. Anyway, brings me to the contract. It says principal performers will be consulted when making hair and makeup arrangements for production to meet their specific needs. If that doesn't sound anything to you, it's because you're not reading between the lines. It means if you got a black woman on your show or a black man, you have to ask them about who gonna do their hair and makeup. That's a big step, a really big step. If the producer is unable to provide qualified hair and or makeup artists to work with that performer, the producer is required to reimburse the performer for obtaining their own hair and makeup services Amen to that. That means if y'all got somebody who don't know how to play in my hair, I get to bring my stylist. If y'all got somebody who's going to put pasty pink Barbie makeup on my face, I get to bring my own makeup artist. And that will bring more hair and makeup people into those professional guilds, more Black people and BIPOC people, but more specifically more Black people, because that's where the biggest issue comes when it comes to hair and makeup. So that's cool. That's a really important thing. It's, not a raise or whatever, but I think it's an important thing in creating new opportunities for Black folks and in making our hair and makeup actually look better. I laugh because I just thought about how much crap Tyler Perry has taken for the bad hair on his shows. And you would think if there's any producer, well, but his is a cost-saving measure. He probably has Black stylists doing that mess. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. But we're talking about, the studios and network shows. So that's a really big deal. The other thing that I think is a huge deal is that producers have to get stuntmen and women. They have to bear a sufficient likeness to the actor playing the same character. That might seem obvious to you, but you would be amazed how many Black actors and actresses, or women and men actors, depending on how you want to say it, have stunt persons that are not Black. So once again, if the contract says they have to make an effort to get stunt persons who have sufficient likeness to the actor playing the same character, that's more work for Black and Latinx and Asian stunt persons. Sufficient likeness means get somebody Black. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
November is National Runaway Prevention and Homeless Youth Awareness Month, and the Sanctuary of Hope is shining a light on the situations that cause youth to run away or face a housing crisis. In LA County, nearly 3,000 youth are homeless on the streets each night. All month long, the Sanctuary of Hope will lead activities throughout LA County to inform and mobilize calls for action, and you can help. For more info, go to www.thesoh.org. That's www.thesoh.org.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
The City of Los Angeles Civil Rights Department and its LA Repair Participatory Budgeting Program invite nonprofit organizations to submit proposals to turn community ideas into reality. More than $5.4 million is available to make a difference in the Arleta, Pacoima, Westlake, Skid Row, South LA, Leimert Park, and Harbor areas. Don't wait. Proposals are due on November 29th at noon. To apply, visit repair.lacity.gov. LA Repair gives people real power over real money. Visit repair.lacity.gov.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Just a heads up for those of you who like to weigh in at the Los Angeles Police Commission meeting or just track what's going on. today's meeting, there is an important issue on the docket. You may remember the case of Takarsmith, a black man, of course, who was having a mental health break. His family called the police to try to get help for him, and they ended up shooting him dead. He had been on medication for schizophrenia. They said his wife and his family said, that he was having issues, and she went to the police station. His wife asked for help. They gave her non-emergency number. She called for that help. The officers showed up, asked her to wait outside. So heartbreaking. She actually told them, please don't kill him. And they did. They killed him. Well, today the LA Police Commission will deliberate and presumably rule on whether or not that killing was in policy. And so it's a great moment for public comment. If you want to do so, they meet this morning. So you can weigh in online, or you can go in person. It is at lacity.gov. You can get their meeting calendar and find out how to participate. This is important. This is one of the cases that made folks amplify the calls to take police out of mental health related calls. When we want help for a loved one who's having a mental break, can we call Department of Mental Health? And can we have the response be people that are experts in, psychology, or people that have that background, so they know how to help the person to recognize what's going on and don't end up killing them, a la Ezell Ford, a la Takarsmith. That will be a big decision on the agenda today for the Los Angeles Police Commission. So if you are interested in making a difference, I suggest you weigh in today or pay attention today to the Police Commission meeting this morning and see what it is that they are going to decide. This is, for me, it's just really important. There's so many of these cases. It's hard to track them. It's hard to remember what happened in one and what happened in the other. And I don't do a perfect job, but I try to remember to say their names. And today we say his name, Takarsmith. KBLA, Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday, November 14th. I'm Mike Moore. Now, here's the latest from the Black Information Network.